Hi there, folks. Well, up until now, we've been talking about beingness, values, living a values-based life. And yes, it's all around personal growth. But as we set ourselves up to grow personally, what does happen? We will face challenges and roadblocks along the way. And in fact, what can happen is sometimes they intensify even more so. I feel what can happen is when people work with personal growth, they have this expectation that, once I start working with all of this, everything will fall into place, my life will be great, I'll make lots of money. It's like that quick diet. I'm looking for that quick diet. Well, it's not about that. What happens with personal growth, we start bringing up stuff, we start working with stuff, and it does come and meet us face to face, because that's the only way we're going to work through it. So how do we maintain our set of values, our beingness, especially in the face of challenges and through situations or people or events that are happening out in the environment? How do we keep our ethical rudder strong so that we can sail the choppy seas and still stay with integrity is the word I'm looking for? Because I feel once we move away from our values or the behaviors, our code of ethics that we set up for ourselves, we lose our integrity. And yes, over the next few minutes, I'd like to share a few things around maintaining our values, maintaining our beingness, especially when things are not working according to how we would like them to be. So for me, it's about reflection, especially when things haven't gone right, and to take time out with myself and ask myself a few questions around a situation where maybe I strayed off the path in terms of my beingness. The first question is, where did I go astray? What behaviors did I demonstrate that went against my code of ethics, and to identify these behaviors, and then ask the next question: why did I behave the way I did? Is it something that I need to address within myself? Sometimes it's a hot button within us that if we don't address, whoever it is going to walk into our lives and they're going to press it. So maybe we need to start understanding a little bit more about ourselves and our own hot buttons, and how we can maybe behave differently around that, and more importantly, how we can make peace with those hot buttons. You can also ask yourself, what can I do better next time? How could I behave in a different way next time? Am I prepared to look at it from a different perspective? Am I telling myself a story that maybe is not true? Am I creating a reality that's not true around that situation, and that's firing me up even more? And this takes a lot of courage. And yes, the elements of beingness, the growth mindset, are required to step out of our own viewing point and see it from another angle. I feel a really important question is, can I do something about this? Whatever it is that has affected us, that has upset us, what can I do about it? Now, if I can do something about it, am I prepared to make the gesture? Am I willing to make that gesture? Either approach the person or address the situation, and yes, sort that out, because if you don't, you're just going to let that anger linger a little longer. So it is about understanding that. Now, if you haven't got the control around it, well, then it is the art of letting go. Letting go is about letting be, and I feel that this is very difficult for us sometimes to do, because we like to be in control. We like to have control over everything. And when things aren't going right and we're not in control, it brings up a lot of anger and frustration. And for me, anger and frustration, it is important to acknowledge it, because the moment we shove it under the carpet, it's like you can shove all the dirt under the carpet, but eventually it becomes a mound. What's going to happen is that anger is going to, if not explode like a volcano, it's going to seep through our pores, and it's going to come through in our energy. And what we end up doing with anger is we end up taking it out on other people who don't deserve it, people we love, people who weren't even part of the situation. So it is about acknowledging that anger and asking myself, why am I so angry about this? And how can I actually calm myself down? If I cannot address the situation, how can I calm myself down? Now, I use some wonderful tools or things that I do to help me with anger, especially when I'm not in control of the situation. The first thing is meditation. It's that space in between when I calm myself down, focus on my breathing. I go to that space in between, and what it does is it settles my body. And when I come out of that meditation, I feel a lot more calmer. And sometimes the situation isn't as bad as it seemed beforehand. Another thing is exercise, just to get out, go and have a walk, a run. For me, swimming, cycling, anything that helps you just get that energy out of your body to work that anger through. And of course, journaling. There's nothing better than journaling one's anger, putting it onto paper. A lot does come out. And for me, journaling is when we have the pen in our own hand. And what we are doing is we are making sure that that anger is our servant. It's not our master. It's teaching us something. I've spoken so much about gratitude and forgiveness. The one thing with gratitude, especially when you are angry, yes, what can you be grateful for? But if you can't find anything to be grateful for, can you find something that you're grateful for that you were spared? And so often we look at what we haven't got, but maybe sometimes we can look at what we've been spared. There are some people who are way worse off than us. Ultimately, when we are working with ourselves and as we aspire to grow more, we are going to face challenges. They are going to come at us. And this journey without any challenge means we're not going to grow. So I feel it is about that perspective where we look at situations, people, challenges, events, whatever it is that frustrates us. They can be our greatest teachers to help us become more of what we aspire to become. And as we work with our code of ethics and keep that integrity, keep ourselves behaving as close to our values, if not within our values as possible, we end up holding on to the pen. We're no longer handing the pen over to other people and letting them write our story for us. We are writing our own story. So those are just some thoughts, folks. And until we chat again, take care and stay aware.